Welcome to the Dynasty Dugout Show, a podcast covering all things minor league baseball. Get a front row seat to the action with everything you need to know about the future stars of Major League Baseball. And now, here's your host, Chris Clegg.
Hello and welcome to the show. It's Tuesday. It's June the 3rd. Yesterday was DSL Opening Day. We're going to break it down. We're going to break down all the complex action as well. But first, the normal sponsors of the show. Be sure to check out Connect Roasters. Connect Roasters is Ian Happ's coffee company. Make an incredible blend of coffee. I love the Gold Glove blend. You can go check that out and get it. Buy one, get one 50% off. So get 2 bags for nearly the price of one using the code Dynasty Dugout at connectroasters.com. We're also proud to partner with Chinook Eatery, and I've actually been chewing on some as I updated my rankings. The flavor of the day was the cinnamon toast, which are really, really good. Sweet, salty, spicy, I got them all. Go check them out, ChinookSeedery.com, and use the code Dynasty Dugout, or use the link in the description. So again, today we're going to break down all the DSL action. We're going to break down the complex action yesterday. Everything that happened, we will keep you updated with what you need to know. Big day, obviously, DSL one day. It's really hard to take a lot away from, the stats from one day, but we'll at least hit on some guys and what they did, because there were obviously some big names that did things that were notable. So right off the top, we talk about Luis Cova of the Miami Marlins. We had a 4-hit and 2 home run day yesterday. Obviously, offensive numbers are going to be very inflated in the DSL. It's just the nature of the environment, the pitching there, everything of that nature. Cova's interesting because he's a DSL repeater. He was in the DSL last year, and he was one of the bigger signees for the Marlins in 2024. So the fact that he's back is interesting. Again, I don't have confirmation, but we see more often now guys stay for tax purposes, visa purposes, etc. So it wouldn't be shocking if it was one of those reasons that Luis Cova is back in the DSL this summer. But 2 home runs yesterday. Yes, he struck out 2 times in 7 plate appearances, so the Marlins DSL team was lighting it up. But Luis Cova obviously has some name recognition. He has some pedigree given the signing bonus that he got. And so a pretty good start yesterday for the season for Luis Cova, who had 2 home runs, 4 RBI, 4 hits, so 2 singles and a walk. So he got on base 5 times. Yes, we don't want to see 2 strikeouts, but in 7 plate appearances, okay, it's a little more passable. Cova is 18 years old, and he'll be 18 the entire year. He just turned 18 in February, so he's not really old for the level by any means. DSL repeaters, sometimes people get in a tiz about, but at the end of the day, Luis Cova is still a prospect, and he is a name to know. Johanfran Garcia, let's go over to the FCL. Johanfran Garcia, he's a rehabber, so he's in the complex right now. This is a player that had a lot of breakout appeal last year. Garcia was mashing in the spring when I saw him on the backfields in 2024. He started the season in Salem pretty hot last year, and then he got hurt. So he had a significant knee injury, kept him out all year. He just returned at the complex May the 20th. He's been hitting. He has a hit in 8 of his 9 games so far, and he had his 2nd home run of the year yesterday. Johanfran Garcia might be a good buy low in a deep dynasty league, just given the fact that people have kind of forgotten about him. There's a lot of Red Sox prospects. People get excited about a lot of other names. But Johanfran Garcia, that's spelled Johanfran. Johanfran Garcia, he's got some pop. It's Joe Stinson's brother, by the way, so the password's brother. There's a lot of talent in that family, clearly. I'd expect we see Garcia back at an affiliate pretty soon. And if he starts taking off an affiliate, then, his stock's going to soar. So I'd suggest investing in him now. It's really good field to hit. It's legit juice. He's a catcher. So there's some appeal there with Johanfran Garcia. So he homered yesterday, and that's obviously a name to know. A couple other DSL guys. I don't know why I skipped from the DSL to the Florida State League. Let's just talk DSL before we bump back to the complex, because there are some other DSL players to know that stood out. Manni Ramirez, Texas Rangers. So Manni Ramirez, M-A-N-N-I Ramirez. There's no relation to the actual Manni Ramirez. Manni Ramirez does have 3 sons. Lucas is in the Angels org. There's a couple playing college ball. But this Manni is not related. But he's 6'5". He's a pretty intriguing player. And he hit a homer and he had 4 hits. He ended up just a triple shy of the cycle on DSL opening day. So obviously that stands out in a big way, that you had a player like this who has some frame. He's got some pedigree. He was not great last. It's another DSL repeater like Luis Cova. He wasn't great last year. He had 5 home runs, and he slashed 224, 311, 348. So not too good there. But this isn't a player that has a very intriguing projectable frame. The contact skills are semi-respectable, so we'll see. There looks to be some improvement in the swing. And if he actualizes, this could be at least an interesting prospect. He's just turned 18 a month ago at the end of April. He's 6'5", 190, so a lot of projection in that frame. So Manni Ramirez, very interesting prospect. And his teammate, Elorky Rodriguez, that's Elorky Rodriguez, he was one of the bigger signees for the Rangers this year, and he got off to a great start yesterday. 4 hits. He had also homered. He drove in 6. Stole a base. Just like Manni, his teammate, a triple shy of the cycle on DSL opening day. So that's obviously pretty notable. Elorky is interesting. There's some things to like in the profile. He obviously has some name value. And this is the thing. A lot of times we see like the top bonus guys not actually pan out and not put up numbers in the DSL. But when you actually see them do that, so when they perform, that's when it matters. So Elorky is interesting. He was a $1.1 million signing bonus, so pretty good money. He played some outfield. He's going to split time between center field and second base. It's a hit tool profile. Like he's 5'10", 175. He's got a really good frame, and like Ben Badler does all the best work on the international guys, so learn a lot about him and other players from Ben Badler. Baseball America, by the way, just updated their international reviews. I think there's like 300 reports on these players that are going to be in the DSL, so that's obviously really, really notable. So Elorky, what I've seen about him on video, what I know about him is it's a really good field to hit. It's a really high OBP type profile, really good approach, good runner. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out, but to see him in a home run on opening day, 6 RBI, a double, 4 hits and a walk, those things will absolutely play. So good start there for Elorky. That's Elorky Ramirez. A lot of home runs, obviously. This is the DSL. The ball is going to travel in the DSL. All right, so we do have a couple big name players that homered on DSL opening day. First being Royals' Warren Calcaño. That's Calcano. It has the tilde over it, like Acuna. So Calcaño, he's a shortstop, 6'1", 154. Beautiful left-handed swing, by the way. I did see video of the homer. It is hard to get video on some of these, so if you're watching on YouTube, that's why there's not a lot of video. But Warren Calcaño has electric hands and bat speed, and that home run, he absolutely smoked. So Calcaño was one of the bigger signees in the Royals class this year. I did want to pull up exactly his bonus. They had a couple of them. I think Calcaño was the biggest, 1.85 mil. They also have Ramsel Medina, who they got for $950K. So some intriguing players there in that system, at least. The Royals typically do well on the international side of things. We also had Larry Suero homer for the Rockies. Now, he wasn't the biggest signee, but this is a player that when I first saw his report and video, I kind of had my eye on at least. He's a lefty. He's a shortstop, got a pretty good frame at 6'2", 185. It's pretty good contact. And if there's any power here, like this becomes a pretty intriguing player. Didn't strike out yesterday. That's Larry Suero. And he had 2 hits in the home run. So Larry Suero is an interesting player to keep an eye on. Also, the Brewers, they knock it out every time. I've loved Braylon Antunes since way before signing day. He's one of my favorite players in the class. But they also signed Kenny Fenelon for more money. Kenny Fenelon signed for 1.3 mil. This is a power speed outfielder, 6 foot, 185, and guess what? He homered as well on opening day, also reached via walk. He did strike out one time, so that's obviously a good start for Kenny Fenelon, who was the Brewers' big dollar international guy. I mentioned Ramsel Medina as well. He homered Royals, so miss him as I'm scrolling down the DSL stats from opening day, so obviously pretty good start there. We have to mention Dawel Joseph, who was like a $3 million man with the Mariners last year. He's repeating because it was awful last year. It was very bad in the DSL. Did not look anything like a $3 million bonus type, but he had 3 hits yesterday, single, double, and a homer. He did walk as well, so got on base 4 times. That was a great start. This is what we needed to see from Dawel Joseph, and hopefully it's a catalyst for him moving forward for a really good season and a bounce back at that. 'Cause it's tough when that caliber player struggles like that. One more before we move on to the complex guys. Naibel Mariano, that's Cincinnati Reds prospect. Naibel is spelled Naibel and then Mariano. He was a pretty respected signee last year for the Reds, repeating the DSL as well. There's some intriguing traits, starting with the speed. And last year was kind of a disaster, much like Dawel Joseph, where Mariano slashed 188, 328, 242 in 201 plate appearances in the DSL. He's back, and his start was really, really good. So he homered, which was much needed. 4 RBI, he had a walk and a strikeout. So Mariano, name to watch. Hopefully a bounce-back season, because he struck out last year at 27% clip and put up pretty abysmal numbers. But Mariano does have some pedigree, so again, we see some of these DSL repeaters. That's okay, because you have various reasons that they happen. Dawel Joseph's back probably because he struggled so bad. Other guys could be back for visa, tax purposes, I said. So a lot of different reasons a guy could return to the DSL. So let's take a quick break, and we'll talk some complex players as well before we end the show. All right, we're back. I know we talked one complex player earlier in Johanfran Garcia, but let's just hit on all the complex players to get out of here. Pretty rare that we highlight a pitcher at the complex, but this guy, Johnny King, is probably the best pitcher at the complex. And I really regret not getting to see him this spring. I wasn't around long enough. He was supposed to pitch in spring breakout. It didn't happen, unfortunately. And then we missed him as well on the backfield. That's Johnny King of the Toronto Blue Jays org, where he had another great game. He's dominated. He has not allowed a run at the complex. Yesterday, it was 3.2 scoreless innings with 7 strikeouts, no walks, and 4 hits, which is impressive. The thing about King is that he's a lefty, and the pitch data is off the charts. He's up to 98 miles an hour. He's averaging 95 with pretty absurd IVB from the left-hand side. It's like a 5.5 release height, 5.6. And he creates 18 inches of vert, 15 inches of arm side run. Fastball is dirty. He's throwing a changeup around 90 with pretty good fade. I mean, Johnny King creates a lot of arm side movement. So when King's getting 20 inches of fade on these changeups to play off the fastball, pretty good stuff. And then he's rocking a curveball with heavy depth and like 10 to 12 inches of glove side that way. So you're looking at like 30 plus inches of horizontal separation, curveball down in the low 80s. Johnny King's a dude. I think this is potential to have 3+ pitches. The command looks really good. He was a 3rd rounder last year, $1.25 million bonus. Naples High School, he's well-versed. Again, he's still 18. He'll be 18 until around the trade deadline, late July. So Johnny King needs to be in single A now in Dunedin. We need to see him in the Florida State League. Get in on Johnny King before his pitch data gets public. On the Florida State League side, you'll want to, I promise. He's going to be a huge riser. That's Johnny King of the Blue Jays. A couple of other players, hitters to highlight. Another one, Ching-Hsien Ko. I'm probably mispronouncing the last name. There was a question in our Discord, like, how do you actually pronounce Hsien? There's probably a lot of pronunciations, and I'm probably completely wrong. But Ko of the Dodgers, he hit his 2nd home run of the year yesterday. This is an OBP monster. I've written about him a ton. He's got a good approach. He makes a lot of contact. He gets on base a ton. And it's a really good frame as well. Like, you're looking at 6'3", 215. that power's coming for Ko, but he lets the ball come to him. He makes a lot of contact. He's going to get on base at a high clip. Speed's probably average, but the power projects to be, I think there's projectable plus raw in the profile. It's long-term. He's 18. He'll be 18 for pretty much all season. But Ko looks like a dude. Dodgers did it again. I applaud the way they go about their business and scouting. They run the most scouts, and so naturally they find these guys. So good work by the Dodgers to find Ching-Hsien Ko. And again, if I'm mispronouncing that, please just tell me. I'll be happy. I always want to give the players their due and pronounce their names right. So if you know for sure how it's pronounced, then let me know. A couple of Royals guys to highlight. That's Roni Cabera and Jose Cercie. So with Roni Cabera, he signed back in 2023 with the Rangers, was involved in a trade. He was actually in Colombia. I had him early on in the year. He was demoted to the complex, but he did hit a home run yesterday. He's looked pretty good on the complex, so maybe that's where he needs to be. But Jose Cercie signed last year out of Cuba. He just turned 20 years old in May, so still pretty young. And considering he signed last year out of Cuba, he went to the DSL and was good. But Cercie's lighting it up at the complex right now. He had a home run. He's slashing .389, .438, .542, which is pretty impressive. He's swinging it well. He's got pretty, the consecutive days of hits have been nuts. And I was mistaken. Roni Cabera homer, not Jose Cercie, but Cercie yesterday had 3 hits, including a double. He had 3 hits the day before, and he had 5 hits the day before that. So Cercie's lighting it up, getting on base a ton. He has a homer and 3 stolen bases. So Jose Cercie, deep name to watch. He's 6'2", 192, so good frame, some projection left. It's good pop, so watch out for Jose Cercie. I keep talking about Angel Genao, who is on rehab, but he's more than ready to go back. Promise you, there's nothing else we need to see at this point. He's homered 3 straight days now. That's Angel Genao of the Guardians. He has been dominant the last few days at the complex on rehab for his shoulder. Let's just send him to high A. I mean, he's ready to go back to Lake County. Last year, absolutely incredible breakout. This is what a top 25 prospect looks like. It's a field hit. He's got power. He checks a lot of boxes. So, Angel Genao of the Guardians, ready to get out of the complex. Rehab's over. He's ready. And let's round out the show with arguably the best hitter at the complex, him or Luke Dickerson. But this is Tyson Lewis, who 3-hit day, 2 singles, and a triple. Lewis is just insanely impressive. Yes, he only has 1 home run, but Tyson Lewis has plus speed. He's got EVs that are off the charts. He's making a lot of contact. He's doing everything that you want to see. It's very, very impressive. Tyson Lewis, very impressive athlete. This is an easy top 100 prospect right now. I put him pretty high for fantasy purposes, but Lewis does all the right things. I just need him to get to Daytona because I'll be down in the Florida State League and see that Daytona team in a couple of weeks, and I'm really hoping that Tyson Lewis is there. So not much left to prove again for this 19-year-old. The only thing that he needs to prove is playing consecutive days. He's done that over the past week. He was coming back from an injury. They were playing him every other day. But Tyson Lewis is a baller. Just go read our report on the site, see where he's ranked. Anybody can see that, actually, because he's ranked high enough where he's in my free portion of the rankings. Tyson Lewis is a dog. He is legit. Power, speed, contact, it's all there. So the biggest question is still the hit tool, how he handles velocity and breaking balls, but I believe that Tyson Lewis is going to do well more than enough to let the power and speed play. See you in Daytona, kid. You're more than ready. So Tyson Lewis, Cincinnati Reds, to round out the show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Full slate of minor league balls back. It's Tuesday. We'll have some live looks for you this week. Got some new guys in Greenville I'm looking forward to seeing, but that's going to do it. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you have a great day.